This morning, the Ravens' Ray Rice out. We have students' reaction to that shocking video.
Leaving the nest. 2 weeks into the semester, we have a campus counselor in studio to discuss adjustment to college life.
Guests overstay their welcome, the damaging effects, and how the university is preserving Elon's beauty.
This is ELN Morning.
We have no problem. You're looking at the global commons right in the middle there. We've got the place where Argo Tea is going to be opening up today, right over Lake Marinelle.
Yes, there's an early look of Elon this morning, which is great.
Yes, a little crummy out, but it's all right. A new way to energize your day is coming, so we love it. We are up and at 'em in Studio A.
Thanks for joining us this week. We love to start our mornings with you.
And we want to share a story about familiar faces today. One former athletic star coming up. They've teamed up in a way that might surprise you.
And two student musicians have recently made their public debut. We'll hear from them and why they describe themselves as delightfully awkward. Turning now to the developments within the NFL, Baltimore Ravens running back Ray Rice is suspended indefinitely from the league, causing much talk among sports fans. For the 8% of Elon students from Maryland, many of them know the Ravens as their home team. Andrew Feather walks us through the events and shares students' reactions.
You're good. Ray Rice woke up this morning unemployed. The team terminated his contract after TMZ released new video of Rice punching his then fiancée, now wife, in a hotel elevator. A situation causing concerns in some Elon students.
He doesn't deserve a spot in the NFL because these people are supposed to be role models and athletes.
He takes out his anger on his fiancée like that. I think that's completely inexcusable.
Shortly after the video was released Monday, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell and the league suspended Rice indefinitely. Over the past month, the league has been heavily scrutinized for initially giving Rice a 2-game suspension for his involvement in the domestic dispute.
I don't really see how it's fair for him to get a lesser punishment for hitting a defenseless woman than he would have if he hit a fully padded NFL player.
Last week, the NFL set new rules pertaining to domestic violence. Now, players charged with domestic violence are suspended for 6 games. Anything farther, permanent dismissal from the league. Andrew Feather, Elon Local News.
Elon Athletics said in a statement last night, quote, Elon Athletics doesn't support Ray Rice's actions or domestic violence in general. Our policy for student athletes falls in line with this Elon University honor code. Ashley, something we'll continue to follow tomorrow on ELN Radio.
Now, continued concern this morning about a terrorist group that has grabbed the world's attention. With the recent increase in security measures taken by leaders around the globe, Meredith Stutz is here to give us some perspective.
Degrade and destroy. Those are the words that President Obama used last week at a NATO summit press conference to describe the intended U.S. actions against ISIS. ISIS, which stands for the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, is a jihadist terrorist group recently responsible for killing 2 American journalists while working abroad. On August 29th, British Prime Minister David Cameron raised the security threat level from substantial to severe, meaning that an attack is likely. President Obama will address the nation on Wednesday, but not before meeting with congressional leaders, and will give a clear strategy on what the U.S. action will be against ISIS. This all comes on the eve of September 11th. President Obama himself called ISIS, quote, a serious threat, and has said that the U.S. will, quote, hunt down ISIS wherever they are. We'll continue to follow the latest international developments, and Paige will have more information on ELN.com about how this will continue to affect study abroad programs.
Nearly 1,500 new students started their Elon experience only 2 weeks ago, but the rush of move-in, convocation, and orientation might be dying down just a little bit. And as they settle into their college life, some could be missing a little piece of home. Our Jenny Hook shares how new students are checking in with mom and dad.
The sound of parents checking in with their college student has changed from this to this.
I was just thinking about calling you or texting you and seeing how you were doing.
Clark arrived at Elon a little earlier than most first-year students. After her parents left, Clark knew she wanted to find a dynamic way to stay connected.
My favorite thing is like FaceTiming them, because they'll sit on the couch and it's like my mom, my dad, and my sister will get in on the couch.
Her parents, Jenny and Brian, agreed video chatting helps fight that empty nest feeling.
I wanted to see her face all week this week. It was hard.
Clark knows getting used to life at college will take some time.
It's just a huge process. It's not a one-night thing where you can finally let go of your parents and become independent.
Clark's parents will make a visit to Elon during family weekend in September. Until then, they plan to keep in touch the best way they know how.
How's it going?
Good.
Through video calls home. Jenny Hook, Elon Local News.
Jennifer Brigman is here in the studio with us to continue the conversation about leaving home for the first time and the anxiety that often comes with it. She's a licensed counselor at Elon and works with students during periods of adjustment and other life changes. So thank you so much for coming to be with us today. Now, clearly there's a lot of forms of homesickness and even more ways to deal with it. But at the root of all homesickness, what is it?
Well, it's different for everyone, but in general, it's a mixture of a bunch of things. It's the grief, anxiety, and culture shock. So as far as grief, grieving home, grieving what's comfortable, grieving family, grieving friends, grieving the loss of just what makes home home, and trying to recreate that in a new environment. And of course, the anxiety is fear. So fear of not being able to do that, fear of Elon will never feel comfortable, Elon will never feel like home to me. I will never have the close connections with friends that I had at home. And then the culture shock of coming here and being an autonomous person for the first time, really making your own decisions, going to bed when you want, eating what you want when you want, all of that. And it's a very transitional thing, and it can be a huge event.
Understandable why students would feel that way. And we actually have one student who spoke to us about how much communication she has with her own family.
Wake up to a text every morning. She's like, how are you today? Like, what's going on? Like, what classes do you have? And I'm like, or she'll like tell me about stuff that's going on campus.
Now, I can actually relate to that very well because I am in almost constant communication with my family, which might be a little bit too much, but what's a healthy level of communications for students in the 20-something age range to keep with their parents?
Well, I think that also depends. It depends on family dynamics. But like you said, it can be too much because if you keep that connection too secure, then it prevents you from making those connections here. So I think a good balance is always good.
And I am really excited to have you here today because I really was homesick when I first came to Elon. And what I found is that it's almost taboo to talk about. Students are kind of embarrassed to say that they're homesick. You feel like you're supposed to be an adult, you're not supposed to be homesick. Does that make it much more difficult to deal with the homesickness, the taboo nature of the topic?
It does because, like you said, no one wants to admit that they're having trouble transitioning and they don't know where to go. I think students do a really good job of pretending like everything's great. So new students coming in, looking at other students who look like they're just transitioning perfectly, are even that much more anxious to talk about it and don't know where to go. So that's where counseling services steps in and kind of bridges that gap.
That's what I was going to say. If any student who's listening happens to be feeling this homesickness, you can contact counseling services on campus and combat that homesickness and really make the most of your Elon experience. So thank you so much for coming to join us. Now, Jennifer Brigham is great, and we are going to move on, though, to some students who are living in adjustment in college with some roommates that are bonding over their Elon connection, and Kaylee Tracy is there to tell us that story.
His laugh shows how happy Dr. Danley is since bonding with his new roommate, former Elon basketball player, Jack Eisenbarger.
I'm 90 years old, you know, they could need somebody here, and it's great.
Dr. D, as he's known around campus, opened his home to Jack while the 2014 grad is training to play abroad.
But let me tell you how I got into this business of having companions. This is my wife and me.
Following his wife's passing in 2011, Dr. Danley says he was lonely.
By myself all the time, every day, every night, and it's really not easy to handle.
A 2012 Elon grad helped Dr. Danley find new tenants, including Jack.
Almost, it's like an Elon family living together.
The companionship is just so nice.
So what's it like living with an Elon legend?
No curfew has been put on me yet.
As far as household chores, Jack helps Dr. Danley as much as he can.
If we get somewhere and there's not a parking place close, he drives me to the door and he goes and parks. Let's see, my driver's parking the car.
Jack joined Dr. Danley and another graduate already living in the house in August.
They're part of the family. the extended family.
And if you're wondering how you can become Dr. Danley's next roommate, he says his home is only open to his boys, the basketball players. Kaylee Tracy, Elon Local News.
I just love that. Certainly an easy adjustment for those two Elon icons.
Now, before our break, Elon recently received 3 #1 rankings in the U.S. News & World Report. Elon is recognized more than any other college in the review's Focus on Student Success category.
This means that Elon placed in the top ranks for study abroad, internships, research, learning communities, and senior capstone projects.
Elon received top marks for its strong commitment to undergraduate teaching and finished up as one of the top universities in the Great Schools, Great Prices category, and is the #1 up-and-comer according to the list. Coming up, Apple is making more buzz, expecting to release several new products later today. We have a Phoenix Capital finance expert here to comment on the release.
If you're seeing some new furry friends around campus, well, we're going to tell you why.
Apple will hold a long-awaited event later today in California, where the company is expected to announce new products, including a new iPhone and smartwatch. But there's a cloud hanging over the tech giant as the event approaches. Last week, nude photos of female celebrities were published online, partially because of security breaches on the Apple's media sync platform iCloud. USA Today says the news helped to push Apple stock down nearly 5%, clearing more than $26 billion off the company's market value. Now, to help us understand how this controversy may affect future sales of tech devices and fit into our college life, we have the president of Phoenix Capital, Jeff Baldetti, here today in studio with us. He spent time on Wall Street and studying risk in the financial industry and now leads a financial group on campus. Welcome and thanks for being here.
Thank you, Paige.
Okay, so with these new tech happenings and everything and the security, what should we expect from these companies?
Well, I think with the security, it's more of a question of this is becoming a norm with a lot of these companies. When I think of security problems, I think of Home Depot last week and things that happened with Sony in the past. So it's not necessarily an isolated event. What's going to drive product sales is new revenue streams. So that's what we're looking at, is the products from today. What's going to be the next big thing? Is it going to be Apple's product or is it going to be Samsung's?
Okay, and with those security breaches, how can college students protect themselves?
I think a lot of that is just knowing what you're buying. I mean, when you look at buying something with Apple, you're looking at something of innovation. You're looking at buying what the product does rather than kind of looking behind it and what does iCloud do versus what does Android do. So more of it is buying what you know.
Okay, and while we have you here, what are some student tips for budgeting, since we're all, poor college students? What are the best tips for us?
I would say doing anything you can to get ahead, whether it's getting a job on campus. It's more or less right now protecting your income. I think that in general, the market itself is pretty fairly valued. So what's going to happen is until there's a better investment than U.S. equities, that's where it's going to be.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And some wise money thoughts, so thank you. We really appreciate that. Elon is trending with some more feathery friends for some furry ones, and here's Ashley with it.
That's right. We are trading some feathery friends, like Paige said, for some furry ones, and Eric Halpern has that story.
Border Collie's natural instinct is to herd other animals.
It's just so much fun to see when those pups hit about 4 weeks of age and you turn them out and they start trying to head and work.
Luann Coulter has worked with Border Collies for more than 30 years.
The bond between person and dog is one that's very hard to describe.
She says it doesn't take much to get these dogs to safely herd the geese.
The training is just getting them under control and working in tandem with the handler.
So I thought I'd try it out with a little help from Kara from Goose Masters.
That'll do means that we're all done.
Sometimes it worked.
Good boy.
Sometimes it didn't.
Lie down.
Lie down. But regardless of their handler, the dogs love to work.
Their treat actually is the ability to do more work.
And more than the work, the Collies just want to make their owners and newest reporter friend happy. Eric Halpern, Elon Local News.
If you want to see the Masters in action, they'll be visiting Lake Marinelle later today. I'm going, that's for sure.
And standing by, Toria Mills will give us the latest from the social sphere. That's next. This has been a happy Tuesday so far, and now we have Atoria Mills, and she's here in our social seal. Good morning, Atoria. So what's happening on social media?
Good morning. So, thanks Paige and Ashley. Let's take a look at some tech trends and the latest on social media. Now, if you don't have a LinkedIn, it's time to create one, says Forbes.com. We've all heard from the Student Professional Development Center that LinkedIn is an important tool when it comes to making those crucial career connections. Another use for social media, blogging. SocialMediaExaminer.com says 68% of marketers plan to increase their future blogging strategies, proving that blogging is still a popular way to generate business. Now, if you're looking for a cool way to connect the two, both LinkedIn and blogging, you can visit LinkedIn's own blog called The Pulse, where, as you can see, people online just like you and I are getting famous every day for posting about topics that interest them. Like, for example, our top post, Caffeine, the Silent Killer of Success, 10 things only exceptional people say every day, and don't just fail, fail better. So if you're looking for an online platform to create your blog, LinkedIn Pulse is for you. Or if you're just looking for inspiration, you can check out our app of the week, which is Feedly. My friend Feedly. Now if you're looking to kickstart the blog, check out our app of the week. And our app of the week is Feedly. With my friend Feedly, I can sort through my favorite websites and bookmarks, so I'll never have to type them in a search bar again. Feedly stores your favorites in one app by categorizing websites into sections. For example, mine are lifestyle, news, and entertainment. Top categories in these articles are displayed in easy-to-read format, and I can sift through all this content without ever leaving the app. You can save things to read later on and get suggestions for sites similar to those you already love. And good news, it's free and available for your tablet, computer, and both iPhone and Android devices. Ladies, I can see all of my favorite sites in one place. Thus is a great fit for our app of the week.
Thanks, Victoria. Well, one of your Feedly list might be a travel to-do list, and our Bree McClellan is checking one off of her to-do list. She's at her dream destination as she studies abroad. Check this out. She's our Where's That Selfie of the week. Now, go on social media, guess, try and figure out where she's at, and then next week, we're going to announce our winner and where she actually is. So don't go anywhere because we've got some sweet prizes for you. Now check this out, we've got our Phoenix forecast right here in the studio, and it is gonna be a hot one.
More ELN Morning after this. Stay with us.
Welcome back to ELN Morning. We've got a dynamic duo in the studio with us, Tyler Meacham and Jacob Lenz. So now we have this group with us today. You guys are actually a part of Twisted Measure too, am I right?
Yes.
So are you guys like the JT of NSYNC? You guys are like branching off to do your own thing?
No, we're still doing Twisted Measure too. You know, this is just
Okay.
a side project.
Oh, I just totally started a controversy.
So much controversy.
I have a question. Can you explain the phrase delightfully awkward to us?
Yeah,
and I want to know a little bit more.
I don't know. It was just a way that I started to describe people, and you know, when they were really awkward, but it made you kind of happy. You know, when someone like is a little bit uncomfortable, but like it makes you smile. I just think it's delightfully awkward. I don't know.
Well, I don't feel awkward, but I feel delightful. So now, what are you going to sing for us today? You guys wrote this song?
This is a song called Different Light. We wrote it, and yeah, it's an original.
Well, I know I can't wait to hear it.
Yes, I am pumped. So I'm going to let you guys get right to it.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Do you realize I've no reason to be angry, no reason to be sad. There's not a thing that you could say or do to make me mad. I just want things to be clearer. All our motives seem confused. Have you noticed yet though when some girl who's right in front of you? Yeah, we could be. Would you take my heart if I promised you that it would be alright? Would you hold me close if I told you there's no room for fear tonight? Would you somehow see me in moonlight. Love me tender, love me sweet. Don't keep me hanging on such short strings. I guess it's time to let you know I'm about to fall. I'm about to let go. Would you take my heart if I promised you that it would be alright? Would you hold me close? I'm about to fall. I'm about to let go. I'm about to let go.
Woo! I'm joining the group now. Hey, hey. No, I'm just kidding. He just needs this guitar. But listen.
You could do it. You can handle it.
Yeah, I'll take some guitar lessons from you. It's all right.
There you go.
Cool.
That was beautiful.
Thank you
Gave
so
me
much.
chills.
I know. I loved it, loved it, loved it. Now, rumor has it, at one point, you guys were roommates, right?
Yeah, we were.
And actually, we used to be neighbors. Little known fact. It's true. Freshman year, way back when. So was that like a super musical? Did your neighbors either love you because you sang all the time or hate you because you guys were loud?
Honestly, we don't know. But we did sing all the time, like outside on our porch, like all day.
Well,
every
it was
day.
beautiful. I'm sure they all love to hear it.
Yes.
Now, can we listen to one more song?
Totally.
Well, yeah. All right, now I'm going to go
Okay.
jam out on this guitar. We'll see you guys later.
I have been the one to understand the love, and after all, I will be the one who lives alone each winter, spring, and fall.
I have been the one to understand the love, and after all, I will be the one who lives alone each winter, spring, and fall. Hey!
Where we're at is nothing as simple as morning May, and I smile as we do. At least we can take in the view, and you say,
Confusion is all in your head, my friend, trust me.
where we were meant to be.
I have been the one who understands the love, and after all, I will be the one who lives alone each winter, spring, and fall. Even if you will not have me, know that I'll be here to call upon when your life has left you. Stay